Good afternoon, everyone. Starting up the truck here. Everything's coming to life. Turn on my air. Hit the automatic off override for the push button ignition. I've already talked about how much I hate that. But anyway, I am headed down to my guy regarding my mirror. Okay. My auto insurance is Bangkok Bank auto insurance, and called them around. I'm looking at the mirrors. Looks good. God, Asher should have went the other way. I can move you way up here, no problem. It doesn't matter. No one in the mirror coming. Anyway, so there's no one in my immediate area that will take the claim. They're all in Chiang Rai proper, right? Which isn't a big deal. But, you know, scheduling and all this kind of crap. So I got to drive, you know, I prefer to keep it local, right? So I'm going over to my guy that's installed my, whatever you call it, Android head thingamajiggy, big screen, blah blah blah, pigeons, and my wired up my mirror and all that, my rear view mirror cameras and all that shit, right? Did all that. Clear all the way. God dang it, I hate that bump. In case you didn't know that. Anyway, so, and my windshield. When I broke my windshield, or when a rock, anyway, doesn't matter. I called him up and I said, "Do you do windshields?" He's like a stereo guy. You know, he helps make people deaf. Okay, they put so much shit in these cars. You know, they all got little souped up Honda Clicks and Waves with little skinny ass tires and freaking fancy exhaust and just haul ass kind of shit. But they put in stereo systems, that kind of thing, electronics. But I said, hey, do you? I didn't want to crawl into my truck, you know, all that shit. I've done it, if I can have it done, what the hell? I'll have it done. So he said, yeah, no problem. Just, yeah, I bring it, mine, I buy it and bring it. I can buy it from him, or I can bring it and he'll install it for a fee. It's a lot different than the States. But when my windshield was broken, I called him up and I said, "Can you do my windshield?" He says, "No, but I have someone who can." And then he quoted me prices and stuff. And this was like shortly after I had put Mac Daddy 10-year warranty film, right? Because he noticed when he was doing my mirror, he said, your window film needs to be replaced. You know, and I knew it did, because I would be like looking out the right side, and it would be all mottled. It'd be like orange peel, like looking through an orange peel. So I was having to like scrunch down and look, trying to find a clear spot, right? So I knew it had to be replaced, and he says it has to be replaced. So I said, okay, how much? Blah blah blah. And then, well, he says, we got this, we got that, we got that. We got the ceramic. That's a 10-year warranty. And I said, I want that. So he did that, and good to go. I'm looking down now to make sure the camera's recording, which it is. And I'm going to slow down for safety. For safety. So there's no one in my area here that takes Bangkok Bank insurance. So they're not on their certified list. So after talking to the agent at the bank, I says, well, I got a guy that does all kinds of stuff. And he says, well, get an estimate from him, bring them the estimate, and if they say, yeah, go do it, I pay the guy, and then the bank pays me. Easy peasy. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing now. And then afterwards, I'm just going to show up to my barber. Usually I have an appointment, but I'm just going to show up because it's a women's salon, but her husband cuts men's hair, and so I'm getting ready to turn here. Cuts men's hair, making sure no one's slipping in there off that corner, and I'm pulling in right behind. Anyway, so I'm here now. Bumpy, 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 bumpy. God dang it. Put the e-brake on so we don't put tension on the parking ratchet. And yeah, so I'm gonna, after this, if he says yes, then I'll say, okay, how much? Get an estimate, follow through, complete the circle. But for now, I'm done filming. I'll be back. Bye. I'm here at the auto shop, my guy's shop, and I like this little fountain. Taking some B-roll. The gentleman is inside over here inside the garage, doing some window tinting in the enclosed booth. So, but yeah, here's the shop, man. I mean, they do all kinds of stuff here, and so I'm happy with. Boy, look at these monster cables. Holy crap. Give you an idea how big that is. That's my finger. Oh my God. That's ooh. Since my baby left me. Okay, enough of that. Anyway, so yeah. So what's going to happen? They're checking. Yes, they can do it. No, it's not something that they stock. Kind of figured that. But they're going to call a supplier and get a number, and hopefully they mark it up, and then call me and say, yep, well, they'll give me a number. I'll take that number to the bank. And the bank says, when the bank says go, then I'll call back. and I'll say, order it. You know, go for it. And get my hand out of the way there. And then a couple days later, it'll get here. And we'll be back in business. In the meantime, I'm going to take that other mirror that the insurance guy brought out with him. He just brought the glass part, right? But it broke the tabs that the mirror clips to, right? So they're replacing that whole head, the whole mirror. But I can take that mirror that the insurance guy got and, you know, put some duct tape on the top of it, put some duct tape on the bottom of it, and I'm good for a couple weeks, right? And I'll still have a left mirror. No problem. I'll be back later with the barber shop. Bye. Okay, so I'm still at the my guy's shop. I'm going to show you what we're talking about here. There we go. Okay, so there's my mirror, right? I clipped the guy's mirror, a parked vehicle. You know, but my mirror shattered as did his. And then when the insurance guy came out, he came out with this, right? And I hear this clicking sound and all this stuff, and he's trying to get it to click in like I just clicked it in, right? But that's just, see, it just started to fall. One of these tabs in here broke. Not just the mirror, but one of these tabs. So insurance is going to replace that whole head, the whole, you know, this part. All that, boom. And this is just a signal mirror if I get lost in the woods. Anyway, so throwing this back in my truck and filming my seat. So that's it. So we just wait for a number. They said they can glue it, get me by, and I said, nah, fuck no. I'm just gonna throw tape on it. You're replacing the whole thing anyway, so it'd be a lot easier instead of trying to rip it off to just take the tape off. All right, guys, back in a bit. Okay, I'm back on the road. Yeah, so I'll wait for a call. God dang, bouncy. The part on the grill that I messed up, he said he can't do that. So I'll take care of it. I think this is my turn up here. Anyway, I'll update later. Talk to you later. Okay, I'm back. I am increasing my carbon footprint. I'm sitting in my truck with it running. Because it's bloody hell, 35°C outside. It's hot. Barber was in. Barber said yes, but there was one guy ahead. And I'm impatient sometimes, and today is one of those days. So I said, how about tomorrow at 11? Yep, good to go. So what I'm doing here right now is I went to my my chicken guy, and he said maybe 10 minutes, and he had fresh chicken for me. I said that works for me. How I found this guy was when I was originally doing physical therapy at the hospital, conversation started. I saw the assistant, not a full-fledged, physical therapist, but I saw this assistant talking to this other lady, and she's doing the hand stuff, right? So I brought up Dave's daughters doing the dancing. So she spoke pretty fair English, and I'm gonna move forward a little bit so this guy in the Honda realizes he has lots of room. Now I'm gonna back up, and I can't see the freaking curb. Okay, so I know I'm far enough away, but okay. So at any rate. Lost my train of thought. Physical therapist at the hospital. So I'm talking to the lady about the dancing, and she says she's leaving work early that day to take her daughter to a meet or a competition. Like right on. And we started talking about family and stuff like that. And her husband, she said, my husband worked over at Market. He sells chicken. And she said, kind of in the back, right? So I said, okay. Name, gave me his name, which I've already forgotten. And so I went in there and I asked this chicken salesperson, this one. He back there. So I finally find him, and I said, your wife told me you make good chicken. Yeah, try. So I've been going to him for my fried chicken thighs ever since. Now, my grilled chicken, flat, I go to another place up the road. And then if I'm in a pinch, I'll do like 5-star or something. But I use the fried as kind of a treat. I don't really eat the fried all the time. I'll have the grilled, even though there's carcinogens from the charcoal, and it is what it is. By the time that shit catches up to me, I'll be dead anyway. So took care of the mirror situation. He said, I can glue it. I can glue it right now. No charge, nothing. And I said, nah, I'll clip it on where it's supposed to be, and then I'll run a strip of duct tape on top and a strip of duct tape on the bottom. So then when the part comes, it's easy peasy. You don't have to rip it off, right? Potentially damaging something else. The motor's included in it, right? The motor but the wiring harness and all that. It's just man, I don't care. It's tape. It's ghetto. You know what I mean? I've had worse. So I don't care. That kind of shit doesn't bother me. So that's what I'm going to do. Get my haircut tomorrow. Today's Thursday. Tomorrow I'll do my haircut. Head over to the big city, and poke around the mall a bit. When nothing against my landlord and stuff, but they drove me around a lot, for little errands and stuff. when I was down, you know, down for the count with my eye. And very generous of them. I'm going to back up some more. Why, I don't know. But actually, man, I might just go into that little tool shop there and look at some tools. But anyway, that's I didn't check the time. I'll start heading back. It's probably been 10 minutes. But anyway, so yeah, so I want to go to the mall when they were with me when I fell up the escalator, okay, at Big C, because I turned around and I said blah 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 blah, and then Dave said blah 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 to his wife, and then she laughed, and then she said something, and I said da 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 da. That 5 seconds, I totally forgot my place in the world. Oh my God, falling backwards up the escalator. Fortunately, it wasn't down, but man, I'm so lucky I didn't tear my retina again. Yeah, my elbow hurt like a son of a bitch, but I was like, the only thing I was thinking about was A, my retina, and B, I want to get out of here because I'm fucking embarrassed. Anyway, I'm going to close this out. Another topicless, almost multiple tangent video. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Bye.